Between now and 5 p.m. on deadline day, there will be an incredible amount of deals, and some will even catch our transfer team by surprise. That's exactly what's happened with Wayne Rooney's potential return to England. We're discussing that on a packed Good Morning Transfers.
Manchester United want Paul Pogba to stay, but Real Madrid will not give up on signing him. All of the details coming up.
Over £1 billion has been spent in this transfer window, with a number of new faces heading to the Premier League. We'll be hearing from one live on the show.
Ryan Sessegnon looks like he's coming in. Could Christian Eriksen be on the way out? Plenty to sort out with Tottenham, with just 2 days to go.
2 days till deadline day, and Will Starhar's future is yet to be decided. Wait to hear what his manager, Roy Hodgson, has to say about the star man.
Plus, there is news from Scotland too on the show. Hibernian closing in on a signing. Plus, what's the latest at Aberdeen with Scott McKenna? Remember, this is your show as well. Plenty of ways for you to join the conversation. Use the hashtag TransferTalk.
Now to a sensational story that Wayne Rooney is on the verge of returning to English football as player-coach at Derby. Rooney is in advanced talks with the Championship club and is flying to the Midlands today to discuss the deal. Let's go live to Rob Dawson, who's at the club's training ground. Good morning to you, Rob. Everyone wants to know, how close are we to getting this deal done?
Tom, from what I'm being told, very close. I mean, Wayne Rooney is on the verge of swapping one DC for another DC. DC United for Derby County, and I don't think any of us saw that coming, did we? My understanding is that talks only began a couple of days ago. This has all happened very, very swiftly. And Wayne Rooney, as we speak to you now, is on his way up to the Midlands to hold some final talks where he hopes to conclude a deal to become Derby County's new player coach. We can show you the pictures of him, some still pictures we've got from him inside Heathrow. We understand he landed this morning. That was about an hour and a half ago. He's now in a car heading up towards the Midlands, where he's going to meet Derby's owner, Mel Morris, and have a chat about those details. But yeah, my understanding is that Mel Morris heard about this opportunity a few days ago. He heard that Wayne Rooney was not too settled in terms of his family in the United States, and so even though he signed a 3-year deal with DC United, 2 years on that contract left to run, there was some scope possibly for that deal getting overturned and him coming to Derby. So it is an extraordinary story, but we expect him to be here in Derby later on this morning, probably late morning, around lunchtime-ish maybe, and then if all goes well, he could be confirmed in that new role at Derby County later on today. That's how quickly this story's moving.
Well, it just really come out of surprise, hasn't it? But why does this appeal to Rooney?
Well, as I mentioned there, Colin Rooney, his wife and his children haven't settled easily in America, I think is the easiest way to describe it. So they've been looking at a route to possibly come back to England, and of course bear in mind their home in Cheshire is not that far away from Derby, where I'm talking to you right now. So geographically it suits, and it suits Wayne Rooney for family reasons, but professionally I'm told it suits him as well. He's currently taking his coaching badges. He's said publicly that he wants to go into management once his career comes to an end, and so this seems an ideal way of maybe combining both, completing his coaching badges and also learning alongside the manager here, Philip Cocu, who has an incredible reputation as a coach. And Wayne Rooney has been told all about Philip Cocu because he was very impressed with Louis van Gaal, his countryman of course in the Netherlands, when he was in charge at Manchester United. So all the words in Wayne Rooney's ear have been positive, and of course he gets to play and prolong his playing career as well. And if you look at his record in the MLS, it shows that he still does have something to offer, very much so. He's impressed people over there. 23 goals in 42 MLS games. So Derby think they're getting an absolute bargain, somebody that could compete alongside the rest of the players in the Championship with the undoubted quality he's got. Remember, this is England's all-time leading goal scorer for the national team. But also somebody that can inspire the next generation, inspire the young players in this Derby side in the coaching role. And from Rooney's perspective, he gets a bit of coaching experience while going to prolong his career at the age of 33. So it's a win-win from both parties' view, which is why I think the negotiations have gone as quickly as they have. But of course, this is a player transfer. We expect there will be some compensation to the MLS for Wayne Rooney if this deal goes through, and Derby have to get it over the line before that 5 p.m. deadline on Thursday. So still a bit of a race against time. Expect things to move pretty quickly when Wayne Rooney gets here to Derby later on this morning, though.
Rob, great stuff, thank you. Right, we want to hear from you on this one because it's taken everyone by surprise. Hashtag Transfer Talk at Sky Sports News. Bring your views in. We're going to talk about this now with the transfer team. And Anton, Rob was saying there, Derby have to get this over the line because it's not going to be a free transfer. There's going to be some sort of compensation. But also, DC United need to get this done quickly for their own reasons, don't they?
They really do. The MLS transfer deadline is Wednesday. So they need to get this deal done as quickly as possible, basically, because they've got a replacement lined up. Ola Kamara, former LA Galaxy and Columbus Crew striker, Norway striker. The problem is they need to deregister Rooney and get him out so they can register Kamara as their third designated player due to very sort of particular roster sort of specifications in the US. Now, let's sort of backtrack here because it's important to get the US angle on all this as well. This all basically started about a fortnight ago. Rooney was allowed to go back to the UK. He was allowed to miss a game against Atlanta. Now, DC United said it was for a mental and physical break, but the fans were unhappy and it just didn't seem to add up. Like, hang on a minute, we're playing the MLS champions here. Why has our best player been allowed to leave and go back to the UK for, in midweek? It didn't seem to stack up, and then obviously the reports came out, the family being unsettled, the family being unhappy, and I think clubs in the UK then got a sniff that Wayne Rooney may well be available this transfer window. And it's all very odd considering it was the MLS All-Star Week last week as well. He could have taken that off and come back to the UK. Instead, it was 2 weeks ago. This is when the ball started rolling. Rob said there that Mel Morris started discussions with Rooney and DC United a few days ago. Club's been aware of Wayne Rooney's situation now for 2 weeks, so it's hardly a surprise. But things have escalated quickly because DC United need this to escalate quickly. It's that simple. They need to look out for themselves. They're chasing the playoffs in the US. They came into the season with big expectations, new stadium, all that kind of thing, and then Rooney was supposed to be the guy that was going to take them to the promised land, and he clearly isn't going to be, and therefore they need to find a replacement. Also, I understand, I've been told that DC United have been trying to persuade him to stay to the end of the season, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen either. So it looks like they need to get this done today, certainly tomorrow by the latest. If he isn't, he will be on a flight back to the US tomorrow because they expect him back at training Wednesday, Thursday to prepare if this move falls through.
Mark, we'll come to you next. So I'm going to need these today.
He's been waiting for that one all day.
I just pointed to those sunglasses and I thought, why has he got his sunglasses on the desk during the show? Now we know.
I only have one annual good joke a year, and I've just used it up. Right, Mark. On a serious note, how exciting is it to have him back in England if this goes through?
Oh, this is so exciting. This is the darling of English football. This is one of the kids that broke onto the scene. Everyone remembers the 16-year-old Wayne Rooney at Goodison Park, David Seaman in goal, the England goalkeeper, an experienced Premier League keeper that was beaten by this young 16-year-old. And then we've all seen his career, fabulous career, Manchester United, of course 120 caps for England as well. We've seen the goals. I've been watching them all morning on Sky Sports News. You know, the goals he's been pinging in the MLS still shows the quality. And they're not just tap-ins as well. These are some of the best goals in world football that he's scoring. To have him back in English football is huge, and it's exciting, and I think everyone will be really looking forward to seeing how he gets on. At 33 years old, of course, he's past his best years, but he still has a lot of quality to offer, and the name Wayne Rooney is huge. Exactly, and JD, it would be stupid not to come to you because you've spent a lot of your working career out in America. Yeah. I mean, you can say how he's been seen out there, and you've also seen him back here.
The growth in terms of what the MLS, the direction they've gone in the last, I would say, 5-6 years, they've looked for those high-profile names. Everyone's seen the names that's been linked with them. You've seen Ashley Cole go there. You've seen Zlatan Ibrahimovic is obviously spending time there. Wayne Rooney was a massive name that went there to kind of grow soccer, as they call it, over in the US. And it's gonna take a hit, the fact that he's obviously coming back to England. But I just want to focus on the impact for Derby. They obviously lose Frank Lampard last year, and the appeal that he had as the manager and an English legend. And now you're bringing in another person to kind of revive the club again, to kind of bring that energy going into that new season. Is exactly what they needed at this point. Just something from a fan standpoint, so they have something positive to focus on. They lost a lot of key players, and they lost their manager last year. So now you can bring in a player that's going to have that same sort of appeal, both on and off the field. And it's just going to keep growing in terms of Derby as a club going forward into the season.
Let's just remind everybody about what Wayne Rooney has actually won in his career, because it's very impressive. 5 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup, 4 EFL Cups. He, of course, won the Champions League, did need the Europa League once as well, not so long ago, and the FIFA Club World Cup. So that is what Derby are getting from the former Manchester United player and he signs. And just to remind you that we've got a poll on the going on right now on Twitter. We want to know if he'll be a success, if he is indeed joining Derby later on today. Just go to your vote on the Twitter page at Sky Sports News. It's just a Twitter poll. It closes at midday, by the way, so we'll bring you the result of that in Transfer Talk at midday. Now, we have some breaking news to bring you as well. It's from Bournemouth, and this will please their fans, I'm sure. We'll ask Mark about it in a moment, but they are now in talks with Liverpool over a season-long loan deal for Harry Wilson, who actually, funny enough, was at Derby last season and was excellent at Derby last season. We had been told that initially they wouldn't sell him. They would only sell him, they wouldn't actually loan him. But Bournemouth, right now, are in talks with a loan move. And Mark McAdam, I know that you know Bournemouth
inside out
very well. Is this just the kind of player they need?
Oh, absolutely. I'm not being rude. I'm on the phone. This is a live show, and we've got breaking news coming into us as we're on air. It's about Harry Wilson. This is a huge deal for Bournemouth. He's a very exciting player. He was quality for Derby under Frank Lampard. He's very similar to David Brooks. He's got a little bit of the Matt Ritchies about him. He's a winger that has quality, he can score goals. You've seen it in the Championship. And he not just knocks in simple goals. He does it from distance. He does it with quality. He does it from free kicks. He is one of those players that will really get the fans on their feet. And the fact that Bournemouth are in talks with Liverpool about a potential deal for this player, it's the one that is getting the fans excited. He's got a big future ahead of him, 22 years old. He's just entering that stage of his career where people are taking note, people are talking about him, and he could be one for the future. And I'm getting messages every 30 seconds at the moment about this potential deal. We understand it to be on course to happen at some stage between now and deadline day. So this is one we'll keep monitoring and watching because it is going to be fascinating. OK, time now for State of Play with Dave.
And more breaking news to bring you from Stoke this morning as well. Bojan has left the club by mutual consent after coming to an agreement over the remainder of his contract. This is what else is happening this morning. Gary Cahill has joined Crystal Palace on a 2-year deal. The 33-year-old was available for free after leaving this summer. Brighton have completed the signing of Neil Maupay. He has joined Brighton. We understand the fee is £20 million. We understand Burnley have made an £8 million bid to Middlesbrough for centre-back Dale Fry. Borough have rejected that offer, we understand. Nottingham Forest are in talks with Arsenal over the signing of Carl Jenkinson. Bristol City have completed the signing of young midfielder Han-Noah Masengo from AS Monaco. He arrives on a 4-year contract. And Rangers winger Glenn Middleton has had a medical with Hibernian ahead of a season-long loan move. We understand it's unlikely to go through, though, before the weekend.